Sunday, December 12th, Sloane Spencer is a perfect Grinch.
I'm gonna need everyone to work overtime.
Now, one determined Christmas Cupid
How did you do that?
will show her the light.
Change your ways. What do you need me to do?
I'm giving you a chance to save yourself.
ABC Family presents a new kind of holiday tale
Sloane Spencer.
How many years has it been?
about getting a second chance
I miss you.
It's like deja vu, huh?
with your first love.
He's funny, he's gorgeous, and he smells like cake.
Christina Milian,
I'm not too late. I can fix things.
Chad Michael Murray,
I can't believe that you kept this all these years.
and Pretty Little Liars Ashley Benson.
Did you get your wings? Actually, it's more like a pitchfork.
A new ABC Family original movie, the world premiere of Christmas Cupid. Sunday, December 12th at 8, 7 Central. Part of 25 Days of Christmas, only on ABC Family.
Welcome to They Call This a Movie, testing the strength of friendships one terrible movie at a time. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes on the podcast services by searching They Call This a Movie, and find us on Twitter and Instagram at TicTamPod. That's TCTAM Pod. Welcome back to They Call This a Movie. This is Anthony Del Vecchio. With me, as always, is Dan Aquino and Mark Meyer. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hi, friends.
Hello, everyone. And in honor of Godzilla Minus One coming out and resident Godzilla expert, Daniel Aquino here, I want to pose a question to the two of you that I saw on Twitter. And it was, when Godzilla stands straight up in the middle of the ocean, what is he standing on, or are his feet moving like a duck under the water?
Yeah. So I saw the same question, and it seems to be a question that has plagued Twitter/X for a few years now. But yeah, he's not standing on anything. He can't be. He's in the middle of the ocean. If for anyone out there who has seen Godzilla Minus One or have seen pictures of this iteration of Godzilla, you will know that this Godzilla has them thick ass legs. He's a chunky boy.
They dummy thick?
Dummy thick. Like
3 C's?
I'm gonna push the boundaries here. I think he's pushing 5'6".
Ooh.
Yeah.
A Kardashian, you say?
Yeah, he's packing. He's packing. So those legs are generating a lot of force. This is kind of one of those things where it's like, step on me, you know?
Oh, man. Get him on one of those gerbil wheels, power the city of Japan for thousands of years.
With just like a couple pushes, you know, he's generating a whole lot of force.
Did I say the city of Japan? What an idiot.
I was going to let you go with that, Ant.
That's okay. Listen, we all make mistakes. We knew what you meant. You meant.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's and he does step on some people, and I don't know if they were really like happy about it. But I don't know if I would have been that upset. It's probably a quick death.
It depends on how much of a nihilist they are, or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Someone on Twitter proposed this other question, like, what's scarier, seeing Godzilla come at you or King Kong come at you? And for me, it would definitely be Godzilla, because he's a gigantic nuclear like weapon just walking, and then King Kong's just a giant monkey.
Yeah, superhero.
Yeah, essentially. But like, I feel as if, Mark, you opened up a huge can of worms here. I could literally, the entire podcast could just be me talking about, in the most recent Godzilla versus Kong versus the Justice League, Godzilla took down Superman. So,
man.
You know, he's pretty powerful, guys.
I don't think Godzilla's very scary, though. Not because of, he is an imposing force, but if I was just in that situation, be like, oh, I don't have to go to work tomorrow. The sweet release of death is just there with Godzilla. King Kong, there's a possibility you're going to survive it.
Yes. I mean, the number one reason, and a lot of people are saying this as well, you take down King Kong with conventional weapons. You need these one-off terrifying weapons that could annihilate humankind to take down Godzilla.
Yeah, I just feel like a Godzilla attack is that universe of me, that universe's sun exploding. It's like, okay, you know what? I'll take it. You know,
Sure,
I'll take it.
I think if you go to, it's like if you die and if there's an afterlife and you go there and they're kind of like asking you, how did you die? How did you, car accident. Something fell on me, but my 75-inch TV fell on me, crushed me. How did you die? Godzilla fucking heat ray incinerated me.
To paraphrase Patton Oswalt.
That's the way to go, man. That's the way to go.
Goddamn apocalypse.
Yeah, you want to go in the apocalypse. If I got stomped on by Godzilla or King Kong as well, I'm okay with that. I don't mind that. Getting crushed by a gigantic monster.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of my fetishes, really.
Well,
I mean, you guys have been talking about being stepped on quite a bit recently, just on and off podcasts. So, yeah.
It's starting to bleed through.
Yeah. I will add that I've also mentioned getting hit in the face with a shovel as well.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah. I think with the whole Godzilla, with the futility that Anthony was talking about, like if it just happens, it happens.
Yeah.
There is a scene in the new movie where there are people who just accept their fate. Like there's a huge explosion and everyone's just kind of standing there like, well, listen, it's going to happen. Stop running. That would be me as well. Like, if I was on the train to Manhattan, and this guy just rises out of the Hudson, like, I guess I'm going to die. Just like that old meme, I guess I'll die.
Yeah. Sometimes people just accept their fate. It's one of the favorite deep readings of part of the Super Mario movie is that star. Like literally there's a scene where it escapes the cage and it goes right back in. It's like it could leave at any time.
Yeah, it wants to die.
It wants to die.
Now, so would you guys purposely run towards Godzilla?
Oh, probably.
Depends on what happened that day.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd probably even just like, how much are tickets to Japan?
Yeah. Where are you going? Didn't you hear there was a gigantic monster attack? Oh,
yeah, exactly.
I wasn't aware. Like you have to feign stupidity.
Oh man, I just thought airfare was cheap.
It's that Simpsons episode. Like, usually he lets go at 3,000 feet or so.
All right. Besides Godzilla, we watched a movie. This week we're continuing our month-long visit of Christmas movies, and in the post a Karate Christmas Miracle universe that we all now live in, we picked and watched a different movie.
Yep.
This week was Mark's pick. So Mark, why don't you introduce this week's movie?
Yeah, so my thought process going in when I chose this movie is I wanted something a little lighthearted. I feel what I bring to Christmas is this part of the podcast, a little lighthearted. So I found a movie from 2010 that was the most 2010s cast of all time in it. And it was an ABC Family movie, Christmas Cupid, starring Christina Milian, Ashley Benson from Pretty Little Liars, and one Chad Michael Murray, along with a host of other people that you've seen around. I mean, Jack A is in it for a little bit and doing her Jack A thing. And it is very much the type of movie you would think it is. And it's a very time and place as well. In terms of the Ashley Benson character, there's no, outside of what she's tasked to do as the Christmas Cupid, quote unquote, it has no real redeeming qualities, essentially. She's never shown as a nice person at any point until, and even as the ghost, she's kind of not really 100% a considerate person. And then also Christina Milian's character is awful. It just very much like they had a concept for a movie, which is basically an update of Scrooge. We're putting it in the celebrity obsessed like 2010s. We're probably late aughts because they would have been writing and filming it during that time. But it's very much in that, breezy, as you said before the podcast, and very, not too much consequences for you. Basically can predict everything. There's probably one good person in this whole movie. And he even comes across as a little slimy at times. But that could just be because he's played by Chad Michael Murray. So, he's in his 2010s End of One Tree Hill Glory here, where he kind of has lost all the charm from that series. And little did I know, looking at the IMDb for this, this starts a run of Chad Michael Murray being in lots of Christmas movies. Like, I would say there's at least 10 or more that he's in from this point forward. A bunch of Hallmark, and this is where his career goes after One Tree Hill, is apparently into Christmas movies. And he has the right thing of some women swoon over him, but he's got enough of a bad boy, I guess, reputation that he's not too cheesy. But yeah, this was very much a time and place, and it made me wonder. I didn't have time to look it up, just from the look and her age at the time, why Ashley Benson didn't take off more, because she's in Spring Breakers around this time as well. And it just kind of gave me that thought. But it was that kind of movie, only people of a certain generation would understand, and I guess the younger generation would call it cringe.
Okay. I like how in Mark's world, Dan and I ruin Christmas because he's the one that brings the lighthearted stuff.
Well, we did watch a Karate Christmas Miracle last week.
Well, I'm going to say, when are we going to watch a Christmas movie? This isn't a Christmas movie, in my opinion. There's no Christmas in it. There's no Christmas trees. There's no presents. There's fake snow. It's just glitter.
It is Los Angeles, though.
Yeah, they still have Christmas trees in Los Angeles.
They don't have snow, though.
They don't have snow, sure. But you could, it's a Christmas Miracle kind of thing. Maybe there's snow or whatever. I don't know. And I will agree with Mark 100%. The Ashley Benson ghost character, Caitlin, I think her name is.
Yeah.
Completely irredeemable. The worst person to have guide you through fixing your life, because she's a hot mess and continues to be a hot mess even in death. I was very happy when she died. I thought we were through with her. I was like, oh, thank God we don't have to listen to this woman anymore. But no, she's still around. I don't even think that Christina Milian was redeemed in this movie.
Not really?
She kind of apologizes to people, but doesn't really, do anything else. She picks up her mother and then just pawns her off on her friend Ashley Johnson. Oh, we're going to a party. Psych.
Who, by the way, is doing yeoman's work of trying to make that character interesting.
Oh,
the friend.
Ashley Johnson just counting down the days till that Critical Role money starts coming in.
She doesn't know the future at this point, but it's one more of these movies and I'm done. I just thought of something as you were saying that about Christina Milian's character, Dan. She gets everything she wants despite not doing anything to earn any of it.
Right.
She gets the VP job, she gets the love of her life, and everybody likes her again.
Yeah, I had written in my notes, because there's a scene where she is she's going off on this guy who's kind of competing with her throughout the movie for the VP position. And we never really see him do anything. All work is done off screen in this movie. But she's kind of going at him, talking about, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. And you could see the background actors kind of yeah, you tell him, girl. Giving him. But throughout the whole movie, she's a huge bitch to everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No one would be on her side.
Yeah.
But everyone's
she's fucking her boss.
That too.
Yeah. And so in every iteration of A Christmas Carol, Scrooge is redeemed and is shown by that, where he starts donating money. He's going around giving people gifts and just generally lighthearted and happy. But in this one, she goes through the ghosts, quote unquote ghosts, because they're not dead. None of them are dead. And at the end, like Mark said, she gets the job. Chad Michael Murray takes her back immediately after getting embarrassed in front of everybody. And she pulls off a party and everyone likes her. It's like you learn nothing throughout this entire movie.
Yeah. There's only one thing in my head. Like, again, this is a very shallow plot and all that. They're just taking the basic concept of Scrooge here. But all they have to do is not give her the VP job.
Yeah.
And I think it works. Or she turns it down. Or so, and it works. Like, getting Chad Michael Murray, fine. That's why it's Christmas Cupid and they're on the cover. Whatever. Right. But her getting the job, along with Chad Michael Murray, doesn't feel like it fits in these type of Christmas movies.
It's not. It's not supposed to go down that way. The entire movie, she's talking about how she didn't want this. What Chad Michael Murray's character was going for his medical degree in Iowa, and like, oh well, I'm not going to sit in Iowa. What am I going to do? Put on overalls and stare at corn? They're hinting at, this is kind of what you're supposed to do for true love. Like, maybe you don't lead this super exciting life all the time. But no, she's going to get everything she wants. He's going to get everything he wants. And no lessons were really learned.
Sure. Yeah. It's not really Christmas Cupid. Right?
No. Yeah, she doesn't really set anyone up.
Right. That's what I understand a Cupid does.
Yeah, exactly.
In traditional sense, at least, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As for me, I'm assuming that's your take on it, Dan.
That is my take.
As for me, it was a nice refresher after watching a Karate Christmas Miracle. I'll say that. I did like the fact that it was a little self-aware, I guess, in a sense, with this kind of time and place of this TMZ world that they lived in at the time in 2010s. I appreciated that a little bit, but overall, it's a very I don't know, just a movie that I watched and will never think about again. She's terrible. She doesn't deserve anything, and I really don't have much more to say about that. Why do I know who Christina Milian is? That's a question I had.
She was a pop singer.
Was she? Okay.
Dip it low, pick it up slow.
Nope. Don't know.
Nope. Don't know the song.
That sounds familiar. Mark, you'd be happy that I knew Chad Michael Murray was from One Tree Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking that he was Canadian and that's why he does all those Christmas movies, but he's actually from Buffalo, which is close.
Yeah,
close. Maybe he just goes over. Maybe just quick plane ride to Toronto to film all of them.
I think he technically lives in Wilmington where they filmed One Tree Hill now, but that might be old too. He might be in Los Angeles.
Mark, I always go to you for my Chad Michael Murray info.
Yeah, or CM Square, as I call him.
Like how I'm the Godzilla expert, Mark is the Chad Michael Murray expert.
Oh, God.
CM Squared, apparently.
CM Squared.
Yeah, that's now on the podcast, is you saying that. I just want you to realize
I've said it in public, so...
You can't hurt me.
I'm not hurting him. It's his words. His own words used against him.
To be honest, is that the worst thing I've said on this podcast?
You've yet to drop the N-word.
Well,
that would be pretty bad.
I mean, look, of the things I've said, is that...
Well, you are from South Philly. I wouldn't put it past you.
Anthony, he said on the podcast, so that...
Look, we've got thousands of hours recorded. You'd think that one would slip in eventually.
Right. That's not who we are, though.
Christmas Cupid. Who cares?
Yeah.
Honestly, it was fine. It was fine. If my wife put this on, just like I want to watch this, I would be like, okay, I watched it. It killed an hour and a half.
I think what helped this movie out in my mind was, as you guys were saying, was it followed a Karate Christmas Miracle, because anything after this is just it's like seeing land after being adrift at sea for 2 months.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, thank God, I will take any Christmas movie after that.
Yeah. And you are right. There isn't that much Christmas involved in this movie.
No,
it is.
It's just the fact that it takes place on Christmas. The memorial service movie premiere.
Yeah. They tried to make Christina Milian's secretary the Bob Cratchit of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
She's only in maybe 3 or 4 scenes, and you barely get to see anything.
I appreciate that actress, and I hope it was her choice when she's talking to Ashley Benson while the secretary is talking to her, and the secretary just keeps going down to meet her eyes.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like, I hope that was the actress's choice and not like a direction, because
Yeah.
that was a pretty good like process in a scene to do.
There there weren't many laughs in this movie. I know it's a comedy, but the one scene that made me laugh so goddamn hard, and it wasn't even meant for laughs, is towards the end when Sloane, the Christina Milian's character Sloane, is on the Ghost of Xmas future,
Okay.
and she goes to visit Ashley Johnson's character, and she comes back wearing an Applebee's uniform. And I'm not laughing at people who work at Applebee's, honestly, or obviously, but I just, for some reason, the movies take about being, she's tried to strike out on her own as a restaurant owner, and now she works for Applebee's. Just made me laugh so friggin' hard.
Yeah,
Like,
I laughed for
the
another
barrel of the movie.
Yeah, I laughed for another reason at that same scene. The fact that they got a sponsorship for just that scene.
Yeah.
Like Applebee's is not mentioned at all in the rest of the movie.
Nope.
Like that, they could have just made some fake restaurant up.
Yeah.
But they had to shit on Applebee's in this movie, apparently.
That's what made me laugh. Is like, yeah, Applebee's. That's the worst of the worst you could go.
And they probably paid for
that.
to get the name in there.
Oh man. I also love how they completely were terrible at hiding that the boyfriend was Santa.
Oh yeah, clearly that was him.
That actor is very distinctive.
Yeah. The one scene I laughed at was the scene after Caitlin had died, and you see the X-ray and just the giant olive shoved down her throat. Like it shows with the X-ray. I was like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, good. There was a couple scenes. I got a kick out of Christina Milian's character being in a coma by herself, and there not being any explanation as to why.
Yeah, it was like it was happening tomorrow.
Yeah, I didn't, because again, in every Christmas Carol, Scrooge dies. He's not in a coma, so why is she in a coma?
Well, I think she technically dies at the end of the scene, but I know what you mean.
Like, I didn't get that. I didn't realize she died.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I think the flat lines, like right at the end. Yeah, but that's another thing to bring up, is that she has the realization to be nice again when she sees that it will affect her, not how it's affected anyone else. When it's affected her, then she's like, "Oh, I have to be nice."
Jen made a joke at the end, because the last shot of the movie is her. It's her taking a sip of a martini with or she's drinking the martini, right, with the olive.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, Jen goes, that's how she ends up in the coma. she swallows the olive. But this time she's not alone. Yay.
She's poisoned everyone's drinks so she could die with everybody and make sure.
She drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Yeah. The writing in this movie very much felt like a bunch of writers that like lived or grew up in not San Francisco, in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You know, and thought a lot of like the humor with it, would like transcend to the entire country, but everything that they thought was supposed to be funny wasn't really, and then we laughed at all the little minor stuff that was probably put in by like a set designer, like that olive in the X-ray.
Yeah.
And not even the writers.
So real quick, I was gonna say that at the end, Caitlin's character, Caitlin, the actress who is the ghost that kind of guides Sloane, right? So at the end, she gets her wings and goes to heaven, right?
They let anyone in, huh?
I was just gonna say there's no way she gets in, right? Like the entire movie, we're hearing about her debauchery, constantly stealing things, promiscuous sex, and I'm not slut shaming here, but in the Old and New Testament, if you're going by that, does she really get into heaven? Probably not.
Yeah. We're not saying she goes downstairs, but
it should have just been left ambiguous. Like, I helped you out. Best of luck, Sloane. And then she just disappears.
Yeah, I did like the random drop of dead parents in this movie.
No, both her parents were dead. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, oh, well, aren't your parents going to come clean it out? No, they're both dead. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Yeah, they just dropped that real quick.
So, Christmas Cupid is directed from 2010. Is directed by Gil Younger. We've already covered one of his movies, 10 Things I Hate About You. He also directed Black Knight, Think Like a Dog, and a ton of TV, mostly like ABC Family stuff.
Okay.
Stars: Christina Milian, Ashley Benson, Chad Michael Murray, Burgess Jenkins, Jack Kay Harry, Ashley Johnson, and Ryan Sipek. IMDb score of 5.4, Rotten Tomato score of 35% audience. No budget, no box office, obviously, because this was an ABC Family film. You guys want to get into the plot?
Let's do it.
Yeah, sure.
All right, Dan, what you got for us?
All right, guys. Real quick, want you to go check out the 2 podcasts that we are very good friends with. First and foremost is the Top 10 with Tia. Tia has been on this podcast a few times. She's awesome. Her and her co-host Brittany run down their top 10 lists of the week. So if that's something you are interested in, I would invite you to go to geekvibesnation.com and search the Top 10 with Tia. It'll pop right up. And last but not least, our good friends Game Vault podcast with our very own Mark Myers. It's a podcast that airs bi-monthly, every other Monday. They are on all podcast platforms, so wherever you get yours, please go download them. They also stream on Twitch at Game Vault Pod, where they talk about old school games, games coming up, games that they're playing. It's a lot of fun. So again, please go check them out on Twitch and your podcast platform of choice.
Okay, great. And we are going to take a quick break, and you guys are going to listen to messages from friends of the podcast. So we will be right back.
Hey everyone, this is Steve.
And this is Adam.
And we're part of the Hop Nation USA podcast,
Pittsburgh's #3 craft beer podcast.
Join us every Friday for new beer reviews.
We'll talk about the news, history, and homebrewing.
Plus, we'll sit down with the best brewers and industry personalities that'll have us.
So whether you're a casual drinker, a hazy boy hophead,
or even if you're a whale hunting cellar hoarder,
just search Hop Nation USA on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcatcher and join the nation.
Oh hi, didn't see you there. It's me, George, from the best little horror house in Philly, the show where we talk about the best horror movie ever made, according to our guest at least. We've talked about groundbreaking classics like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Alien, but we've also got a lot of great ones coming up, including some very fun guests like Len Kabaczynski of Swamp Zombies and Red Letter Media fame, Caroline Williams, the star of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and Chase Williamson from John Dies at the End. So make sure you're subscribed to the best little horror house in Philly, and I'll see you boils and ghouls over there.
And welcome back. Now it's time to get into plot 4, Christmas Cupid. We open on Sloane, played by Christina Milian, be a boss-ass bitch as she calls her assistant to check in on the progress of a premiere party that she's throwing for the movie Snow Angel, starring her client, Caitlin Quinn, played by Ashley Benson. After she shoos out the assistant for not understanding doves can't handle extreme heat, she drives to work and pretends that she has a limp so she could take the handicap spots. Sort of walking in like hours late to work. She then goes to her boss's office to talk about the party with her boss and a rival employee named Jason. She then gets informed that Caitlin made a fool of herself by getting drunk at an event and threw up in Santa's bag of gifts.
And that's supposed to make her a cool girl.
Yeah. It is, as you mentioned, kind of a time and place because she is so very Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears sort of thing. Very 2008 for a movie made in 2010. So Sloane's boss says that they'll spin everything for her, and Sloane later tells Caitlin that she needs to start to act better in public or she's going to kill her own career. And Caitlin does not listen. Then we find out that Sloane is fucking her boss, and she's trying to use that to get a promotion. He tells her to call for reservations at a swanky restaurant so they could celebrate something. And then we find out that her rival at the company is also a former boyfriend, she's just fucking everybody.
Yeah. She just, well, we find out later why. I'll let you.
Mm-hmm. Sleeping her way to the top. And she tells him that he's going to lose out on the promotion because she's going to turn this party into the event of the century. Later, Sloane meets up with her mom, Jack Kay, in a jewelry store. As her mom shops for her own Christmas gifts along with her dachshund, which she keeps referring to as Sloane's brother. So I get the idea that her mother has a warped sense of romance. Then Sloane goes to her friend Jenny's restaurant, who is struggling to draw a crowd. So Sloane tells her that she'll pull some strings at work to help Jenny get some exposure with her high-profile clients by including some gift certificates and gift bags.
Yeah, which I had a couple questions about this. Neither of you probably had the answer, but thinking it was like, A, how long has she been open? And B, why hasn't Sloane helped her with this before? But, why hasn't this been broached to Sloane previously?
Mm-hmm.
We had the same questions, and we basically said if you're best friends with one of the hottest publicists in town. Like that's probably taken care of immediately. But as we find out, she's the worst publicist ever.
She is the worst publicist because there is a point where when they start to turn the party into the memorial, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a plot point where it's like, I don't have any numbers for all the most popular people in this town. It's like, you're a fucking publicist. Why not?
Yeah, you don't. but then later there's the scene where she's like, I just got off the phone with Elton John and Lady Gaga. I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, because she got him off of Caitlyn's phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, now that
Caitlyn knows everyone.
Well, Caitlyn's probably slept with everyone. Maybe
including
even Elton John.
No. She was that good. Elton had to get a piece. Like,
yeah, he's curious.
Yeah, right? Listen, you only live once.
All right. When Sloane goes home, she gets a call from Caitlyn from a club telling her that she's going on a yacht with some guy that she just met. Sloane begs her not to go on the yacht. Caitlyn hangs up, then immediately chokes on the olive in her martini. Sloane falls asleep on her couch working and is awoken by a call from Caitlyn, but it comes through weird, and she starts hearing Caitlyn's voice through all her electronic devices until Caitlyn just appears out of thin air. Caitlyn says that she is there to warn Sloane that 3 ghosts are going to appear to Sloane over the next 3 days to pull a classic Dickens ghost ploy. Also that Sloane won't die alone. Sloane thinks Caitlyn's drunk, but then Caitlyn disappears. Then Sloane then gets a call from Andrew, her boss, and her boyfriend, and tells her that Caitlyn has died. Sloane goes to the hospital to see Caitlyn and runs into an ex-boyfriend, Patrick, played by Chad Michael Murray, who is a doctor.
Can we just say that they never mention it, but it is completely no coincidence that he happens to work in Los Angeles. Like, he definitely followed her.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, because he was studying in Iowa.
Yep.
It's not like a hop, skip, and a jump away to Los Angeles. It's like,
It's very specific, yeah. He probably...
Yeah. I was in San Francisco, and they needed me down here.
Yep. He brings her to see Caitlyn's body, and he gives her a moment with her. And Caitlyn's ghost shows up to confirm that she is, in fact, a ghost, like Jacob Marley. Caitlyn then throws a martini in Sloane's face and disappears. Patrick comes back in, and then Sloane and him talk in the cafeteria about ghosts and their past relationships.
I love the that vodka is able to cross the spirit boundary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah. Surprised that he doesn't call her on the fact that she stinks like vodka.
That's what I thought he was gonna say. Like, oh, it smells like alcohol in here.
Maybe it's all the formaldehyde.
Oh, it's burned his nostrils. It's like I can't smell a goddamn thing anymore.
Yeah. Then they talk about how he blames her for their relationship ending and she blames him. Then things get awkward when her boyfriend calls. The next morning, Caitlyn appears to Sloane in her kitchen, and Sloane just continues to be surprised every time Caitlyn shows up. Caitlyn is there to basically reiterate that the 3 ghosts are coming, but he doesn't have more information because she wasn't paying attention.
In that scene, the boyfriend, Caitlyn flashes the boyfriend, and I can guarantee that man blew a few takes just to continue that. Like, oh, my bad, I accidentally looked, I'm sorry. Or he flubbed the line. Oh, we got to take it back. Let's go to 1 and get this going again. I'm going to say no less than 5 takes he blew just to be able to see do that.
Maybe. Andrew, Sloane's boyfriend, who's also her boss, then puts her in charge of Caitlyn's memorial. Sloane goes to work and there's a big board meeting about the party, and now it's becoming a memorial service. But Sloane says that they should turn this memorial service into basically the biggest party in town. It's going to happen on Christmas Day, and everyone needs to work overtime between now and then. The boss thinks this is a great idea, so the meeting breaks. And Sloane goes back to her office to complain to Caitlyn over the position she's put in because she's died so close to Christmas and that she doesn't have any numbers for the biggest stars in town, which, not great if you're a PR person. But Caitlyn says she has all the numbers in her phone, so Caitlyn and Sloane go to Caitlyn's house and finds the key, and Sloane finds Caitlyn's phone. She also gets a call from Patrick, who asks her out to some line dancing and tacos, but Sloane turns him down.
Sounds like a cool dude.
He does sound pretty cool. She then spends the next several hours calling everyone in Caitlyn's phone and decides to go home. But when she opens the door, they wind up on a football field as the first ghost shows up. Turns out that Caitlyn has made it so Sloane's ghosts are all ex-boyfriends. First one is her high school boyfriend, who was the captain of a football team. He says he's actually not dead. It's just a manifestation of her memories. So he takes her on a journey of past relationships, starting off with her. Good.
Sorry to interrupt. Is it just me, or wouldn't it be more exciting or interesting if the boyfriends are all dead?
Yeah, it'd be a different movie, but yes.
Yeah. Well, even if it was just like basically you. Yeah, it is an ABC Family movie, so like you can't have death in it, I guess. But if
Ashley Benson dies.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, so you could these guys could have died, but maybe one of them. Yeah, after you left, I became a mess, and I didn't have a reason to live anymore.
Okay,
So,
well, suicide is different than choking on an olive, so yeah.
Sure. I needed these guys to be dead to have a much bigger impact on Sloane's life.
Yeah,
because these posters are just here.
You wanted one of these guys to swallow the business end of a shotgun.
What if they all died by swallowing something? Just like every single character who died. Like, I choked on a grape.
As they take her to see her mom warping her sense of what relationships should be. Then when she started dating her first boyfriend, and then her relationship with Patrick. Apparently, she broke up with her high school boyfriend when she went to college, and they flashed over to the night she broke up with Patrick. She left when he was at work because he was going to medical school in Iowa, and she didn't want to move to Iowa. So she moved all her stuff out while he was out, breaking up with him in a letter. And it turns out that Patrick was going to propose that night.
And here's where Caitlin, again, shows how awful of a person she is. Grabs the ring and goes, it's not even a half carrot.
And this is the person who is guiding you through your self-realization, like trying to save you. Mm-hmm. And you're making fun of a med student.
Yeah. I think if you're going to do a character like her as the shepherd or the Clarence sort of thing, I think it's got to be from her perspective,
Yes.
Like you see her die, go to heaven, and then they're like, well, you're not getting into heaven until you help this woman's love life or something like that, right?
Yes.
So go back and figure it out. And she starts out shitty, and then she progressively gets better as she's helping this woman along the way.
I like that. I think that's a better Christmas movie. Like you have up until Christmas to do it.
Right.
Kind of like a Little Mermaid thing here, right? You have up until this date to make the prince fall in love with you. I like that. That's a good idea, man.
Yeah. After Patrick, we then see Sloane, quote unquote, upgrading from boyfriend to boyfriend. But she says that she's done upgrading with Andrew. But her high school boyfriend says that maybe Andrew isn't done upgrading as he's totally cheating on Sloane and everybody knows it. And she wakes up at her desk and she asks Caitlin if it was true about Andrew cheating on her. And Caitlin says everyone knows. And then she asks Caitlin if they ever had sex. And she says no, which they totally did.
Yeah, that's such a cop-out.
Yeah.
When she says no, like, come on. Why? Yeah. Why do you not do that?
Well, it's like it's already established that he's into blondes, right?
Thank you.
And the high school boyfriend specifically says, like he mentions, like basically using his position at PR to like prey on young actresses that are trying to make a break in Hollywood. So that is like the exact recipe for how those two would ever be in the same room together, basically.
Exactly. Yeah, and at this point, you've already made the Caitlin kind of a bad girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why stop here?
Yeah.
Right. Why are you drawing the line at sleeping with an executive?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's in the movie that we're making from her perspective. She lies first. Eventually Sloane finds out and a second act, right?
Yes.
How could you do that? How could you do that to me?
Right. Boom. They're having the breakthrough and then it comes out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. God, it's so simple. It's so easy.
It really is. It really is. She confronts Andrew and he doesn't deny it, so she breaks up with him. So Caitlin tells her that she should call Patrick and have sex with him. So Sloane calls Patrick, invites him to dinner that she set up at the fancy restaurant. They go to dinner and they talk, but then Andrew shows up and proposes to her right in front of Patrick, and Sloane accepts. Is this worse? This is almost as bad as being cut, right? You think you're on a date with somebody, and someone walks into your date, proposes to her, and she accepts.
That's bad. Yeah, that's But I don't know if it's
Not-
worse.
Not quite fucking your wife.
I mean, because that's the ultimate disrespect,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you being aware of it
Yeah.
and not having any recourse. This is maybe top level embarrassment.
Yeah.
But I'd rather this happen to me than someone bang my wife. If I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, I'd say so. This is like maybe the bronze medal of bad things to happen like that.
It runs a close second. It's neck and neck though.
Yeah.
What would be the silver?
Let's see. What's in between just someone like just laying the pipe on your wife?
Yeah,
and
that's
someone barging in. I think the middle ground would be it's your wedding. And like you're about to say your vows, and then just got some guy steps in front of you. Is like, I got this, bro.
Yeah. At the forever hold their peace. Some guy stands up, says, "I object," and then runs away with your wife.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Your
that
wife
is
leaving you for another man at the altar is a silver medal.
Bad, yeah. Ooh, that's real bad. I don't know if I wish that on my worst enemy.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Mm.
You'd have to kill yourself and then wind up as a ghost
On the altar.
Yeah, as someone's Scrooge scenario.
Yeah, and that's like your little story to whoever you're trying to save. Like, listen, man, yours is bad, but my wife left me at the altar, and I just had to end it right there. I put my face in the holy water and drowned myself right then and there.
While she celebrates her engagement, the second ghost shows up in the form of Jason, her ex/coworker, and he's there to show her how her actions have affected the people around her in the current day. Like her assistant, who's going to miss her family on Christmas, her friend Jenny, who is really counting on the gift certificates being used by celebs, but Sloan hasn't given them out yet, and Jenny's husband feels like Sloan takes her for granted. Goes to check in on Sloan's mom as her husband calls to tell her that he won't be home for Christmas because of his business trip being extended, but he's totally cheating on her on the side. So her mom is going to be alone on Christmas because Sloan is going to be working, and she wouldn't think about passing up her promotion in order to spend time with her mom. And she realizes that Andrew wasn't even paying attention to her after he proposed to her. Patrick left without saying goodbye. The next day at work, Sloan tries to patch things up with Jenny, but she keeps blowing her off for work emergencies. For one thing, the DVD retrospective of Caitlin includes an episode of Cops where she was shoplifted for her pharmacy. Nobody, why is that there?
I'm telling you guys, heaven material right there. Come on in. Got plenty of things to steal up in heaven.
So she tells her assistant to recall all the gift bags. But she tells Jenny that she never sent out the gift certificates, which upsets Jenny, but Sloan then hangs up with her when she falsely hears that she's got the promotion by her rival Jason. And then she loses it on him. She tries to call Jenny back, but Jenny blows her off this time. Then as it approaches 12 on Christmas, Sloan goes to patch things up with Patrick by visiting him at the hospital as he is tucking one of his child patients in for the night. Tries to explain to him, and she's honest with him, which probably sounded better in her head than out loud. So this makes him even more mad, and he says that she's not the girl he fell in love with, so she storms off and winds up walking into the third and final ghost dressed as Santa Claus. Caitlin disappears, and Santa says that Caitlin won't be going with them to see the future. So they go to see her mom, who now has several more dachshunds, including one named Sloan, which her mom is treating like it's actually Sloan. Santa says that her mom is lonely after yet another divorce and gets obsessed with her dogs. They go to see Jenny and her husband after the restaurant closes, and she winds up working at a job at Applebee's. Jenny has stopped reaching out to Sloan.
The worst restaurant ever.
Yep.
According to this movie.
Take that, loser. You work at
the worst restaurant that would give us money to put their name in this movie.
You know, I
Chi-Chi's wasn't around anymore.
Chi-Chi's. I commend them for not being lazy and taking the McDonald's route.
Right.
Like, oh, well, because that's always the old standby. You failed, you work at McDonald's now. And listen, man, job's a job. So even if you work at Applebee's, I worked at Ruby Tuesdays, all right? So give us a break. It's not all that bad.
Yeah. Applebee's easier better than Ruby Tuesdays.
Possibly? It's kind of all the same, I'm sure.
Applebee's got that half-price apps.
That's a good point.
That was like that. It's like tangent. That's like that meme I saw that all brand restaurants are just versions of Applebee's. And it's like Olive Garden, Italian Applebee's.
Yeah.
You have Red Lobster, fish Applebee's.
Ruby Tuesdays has the all-you-can-eat salad bar, though. So take that, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
Then they go to a hospital, and Sloane thinks that they're there to see Patrick, and she says this is bogus because she doesn't have any future exes. But Santa takes off his beard to reveal that it's Andrew, and he is her future ex. Because they're going to get divorced, and she winds up getting half of all of his assets, so she got exactly what she wanted. But he shows her that they're at the hospital to see her. She's in the hospital bed dying all alone. And she begs him not to let it be so, but he just walks out of the room and he says it's over. And she wakes up in her house 5 hours before the party. Caitlin is there and says it's not too late to fix everything. So she kicks it into high gear to fix things. She goes to her mom's house. Good.
Thank God there's 35 minutes left in this movie. She still has time.
Goes to her mom's house to pick her up, then brings her to Jenny's house. There she apologizes to Jenny and says she's going to make it up to her and she's got to get her Christmas present for her. Sloane goes to the party and tells her assistant to go home and spend Christmas with her family. Then someone put the gift certificates in all the gift bags. The party starts and it goes off without a hitch and Sloane gets promotion and she breaks up with Andrew. Then Caitlin shows up to give Sloane one last goodbye and then she goes to heaven. Sloane gets back to the hospital to talk to Patrick. She apologizes and tells him that it's taken her far too long to realize how much he meant to her. And she shows him that she still has a picture of them that they took with Santa Claus at the mall back at college. And then they make out. And they go to Jenny's for Christmas dinner with everyone. And Sloane cheers to Caitlin a martini. And then that is the end of Christmas Cupid.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing I thought in this whole movie is obviously you got to suspend disbelief, obviously. But the fact is when she's talking to Caitlin in her office is just windows. So does it look like she's just talking to herself? Like
probably. Yeah.
Like does everybody think she's like going insane this entire movie?
Mm-hmm.
There's the one scene where Sloane gets into the argument with her boyfriend after she first finds out he was cheating on her, and the ghost of Caitlin throws her martini in his face, and he just kind of goes, "Oh, where did that come from?" And that's it.
Is that vodka? Where'd that come from?
Yeah, he didn't immediately freak the fuck out as one would. And he just kind of took it as, oh, how odd, and went on about his day.
Yep, there's no concerns.
No
concerns.
There's no stakes, really. There's no chemistry in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just your run-of-the-mill ABC Christmas movie.
Yeah. But that is Christmas Cupid. And we're going to take a quick break, and you guys are going to listen to some ads so we can pay those bills, and we will be right back. And welcome back. And now it's time for our third segment, and this one's a little new. We're going to try something new here. So I was lazy this week, so I reached out to my good friend ChatGPT to help me fill out something. Don't
worry, Craig. You're still our best friend.
Yes, I have here a list of several fake romantic Christmas movies, kinds of ones you'll see on ABC Family, Hallmark, all those kinds of good stuff. And I asked ChatGPT to give me synopses of these movies and also cast them for me. So what we're going to do is I'm going to read, let's say five of these movies. I'll give you the synopsis, and you guys are going to cast it. Each of these has 3 roles to fill. And we'll do that. That's what we're going to do. And we'll see. ChatGPT has a cast list too, so we'll see what they decided was a good cast for these movies. Got it?
Cool.
All right. So let's start off. The first movie is called Under the Mistletoe Magic. Ooh. Synopsis is, when a small-town florist discovers a mysterious antique mistletoe that supposedly brings true love, she finds herself unexpectedly entangled in a web of holiday romance as the magical plant works its charm on everyone around her. Now, this has a female lead, a male lead, and a supporting role known as the mysterious figure.
Ooh, all right.
So, all right, Dan, who would you like to see in this movie?
Under
the Mistletoe Magic.
I have one qualifying question before we begin. Just so if we try to get it, are we trying to get as close to ChatGPT as possible? Because my question would be, how famous do they make the actors?
These are A-list actors.
Okay.
I was going A-list all the way. I don't really know a lot
because
of
I was going to make Candace Cameron Bure jokes, but
you can. I mean, I don't know if it's a competition to get close, but it would be interesting if you guys did get the same cast. Yeah.
All right, you go, Dan.
All right, so for the florist, give me Naomi Watts.
Okay.
For the love interest, I want someone a little quirky because this is a quirky movie. Give me Steve Carell. And for the mysterious figure, I'm going to go the comedy route. Give me Bruce Campbell.
Okay, interesting. I like it. All right, Mark, what do you got?
Yeah. So my goal is I'm going to try and pick the women that are traditionally in these movies, and then A-list around them. So let's see how good I do. So this movie very much feels like a Lacey Chabert movie as the female lead in this. Being there, and then we got the male lead. What was the description of the male lead, or is it just male lead?
There is no description other than just male lead. I'll tell you what he is.
Yeah.
Actually, he doesn't even have a name. Or like when a small town florist discovers a mysterious antique mistletoe that supposedly brings true love, she finds herself unexpectedly entangled in a web of holiday romance as the magical plant works its charm on everyone around her. So
okay, so let's go. Good looking man. Let's go Sebastian Stan.
Okay.
For the male, and for the mysterious stranger, let's go. And that didn't have like actor actress. That's just a mysterious stranger.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Let's go with Kate McKinnon for the mysterious stranger.
Sure, I like that. All right. So for ChatGPT. Under the Mistletoe Magic stars Emma Stone, Chris Evans, as the supporting role of the mysterious figure Ian McKellen, Sir Ian McKellen.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
I like the idea of it being an older, wiser person.
Yeah. All right. Next one is called A Winter Wonderland Love. Here's the synopsis. An ambitious event planner is tasked with organizing a magical winter festival in her hometown. Amidst a snowy backdrop, she reconnects with her high school sweetheart, and together they rediscover the enchantment of the holiday season and the love they thought they had lost. So this is female lead, male lead, supporting role is the event planner's best friend.
Okay. Ooh. All right. So the first name that immediately comes to mind for the event planner's best friend for me is Sydney Sweeney.
Okay.
She's going to steal the male lead?
Possibly. The male lead, I'm working backwards here. Male lead, I'm going to go Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
The female lead is kind of throwing me because I'm not really up on a lot of the younger female actors now. You know what? I love this girl. Let's go Ana de Armas.
Okay.
Interesting.
One of my babes.
Yeah.
So that's tough competition. You know, I don't know if I'd leave Ana de Armas for Sydney Sweeney, to be honest. So
yeah, I was just saying that, she kind of stole Glenn Powell from his wife.
Oh, I remember hearing about it. Is that true?
It's
possibly,
definitely, probably.
Okay.
Mark, what about you?
Yeah. So I will go. When you said the title, I had one actress in mind, and then you read the job, and I'm like, that doesn't really feel like that actress. So I will go. Event planner needs to be sort of high energy, like manic type personality. So I'll go with Lindsay Lohan for the female lead. She's already done a good job in a Christmas movie previously.
Yeah.
For her best friend, let's keep it A-list. Let's go. Probably a bigger name than Lindsay Lohan, but I feel their energies would be matched. Let's go with a Jennifer Lawrence as her best friend, and then for the male lead, let's go a little older and gruffer. For some reason, let me go with a Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Ooh, okay.
For the love interest.
All right. So remember, he's supposed to be her high school sweetheart.
Oh, okay. I missed that part.
So unless he was a high school teacher.
Okay, well let's back it down. Let's go James Marsden.
James Marsden. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Lindsay Lohan, James Marsden, and Jennifer Lawrence. Okay. Cool. ChatGPT said for A Winter Wonderland Love, Rachel McAdams, Ryan Reynolds, and as event planner's best friend, Mindy Kaling.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I like that. I like the Mindy Kaling casting.
Yep.
Ryan Reynolds, I could do without.
Yeah.
Very, very Mean Girls energy in our
That's true. Yeah.
selection.
Yep. All right. Next one. It's called Christmas Hearts Alight. Synopsis. A workaholic architect finds herself stranded in a charming Christmas village during a snowstorm. As she seeks refuge in a cozy inn, sparks fly with the innkeeper's handsome son, leading to a heartwarming holiday romance. So we have female lead, male lead, and supporting role for the innkeeper's son is the innkeeper's son. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you said a workaholic, right?
Yep.
All right. Workaholic. I'm going to say Rosamund Pike. And the male lead is the shopkeep.
Yes.
Okay. Is that what they said?
For whatever reason, you calling it a shopkeep made me laugh.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like real old school.
Yeah, it's an innkeeper, I suppose.
Innkeeper. Okay.
This one's a little weird because, like, the lead is the innkeeper, but the synopsis says she falls in love with the innkeeper's son.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the innkeeper could be older then. Okay.
Yeah. It's odd. This one's a little odd. Not great, GPT.
All right. Well, going older, I'm gonna go with Kurt Russell as the innkeeper, and the son.
You just go Wyatt Russell.
Yeah, I could go Wyatt Russell. Who was the guy that you were just saying before? Sydney Sweeney stole?
Glenn Powell, the guy from Top Gun.
Yeah, give me Glenn Powell.
Okay. All right. Not bad. Not bad. What about you, Mark?
Yes. So let's go with the female lead. Let's go Vanessa Hudgens in there because I'm trying to keep this late 20s, 30s for the son and the female lead. Let's go the son. Let's go Timothy Chalamet for that, and then we'll make the let's just do a callback to a person earlier. Let's make the innkeeper Patrick Stewart.
I like that.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So for our Chat GPT cast, we have female lead Jessica Chastain, male lead, which is going to be interesting, Armie Hammer, making a comeback. It's a comeback film. And supporting as the innkeeper's son, Noah Centineo.
Doesn't ring a bell.
He's a very smiley guy in one of the teen Netflix series. Is it the one with To All the Boys I Loved Before, something like that?
Okay.
Yeah, very smiley.
Okay. A little bit of an age gap there for the.
That's what I was saying is a little weird. I was surprised that that wasn't going to be like the main aspect of that synopsis, but what have you.
I mean, I would be down if it was supposed to be she falls in love with the innkeeper with Patrick Stewart and Vanessa Hudgens.
So you're okay with that sort of age gap, but a woman. Let's see how it is, Mark.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Candy cane kisses. All K's. That's weird.
I don't like that.
Oh no!
I'm just kidding.
Jeff EVT. It's going right wing in 4 movies.
Already figured it out.
Synopsis. A pastry chef returns to her hometown to help save her family's struggling bakery. Along the way, she teams up with a charismatic candy maker, and together they concoct a sweet recipe for love, complete with plenty of candy cane kisses. Okay, so we have female lead, male lead, and supporting role is wise elderly baker.
Oh, yeah. All right, the wise elderly baker. I'm not going to go too old. I'm going to go Idris Elba.
Okay.
For the lead, I'm swinging for the fences here. Give me Lupita Nyong'o.
Okay.
And for the male lead, right? Just the male lead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think they're the same age. John David Washington.
Okay, nice. All right, Mark, what about you?
I run to the microphone and grab it and go, Candace Cameron Bure for the.
Is that supposed to be your? Is that your Baba Booey?
It's a reference to grabbing a mic and yelling "Liquid Swords" for Wu-Tang's best album.
Oh, I'm not
Um,
in Wu-Tang. They're not. That wasn't my thing.
Yeah. So this fits the Candace Cameron Bure because you can make it very family friendly. A movie about a baker and a candy maker. So she's definitely the female lead carrying this movie. Let's go. Trying to think of. We'll go with the elderly baker first. Let's go with a comeback film. If he's
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey. It's going to be called To Be Frank.
Speaking of comebacks.
Yeah. I don't know if he's doing much, but for some reason, he might be. No, he's older. I was going to go Anthony Edwards as the elderly baker for some reason. Dr. Green, yes. And for the
might say Goose.
Goose, yes, or Goose. I'm getting another Top Gun reference in here. And for the male lead, let's just. I haven't done this yet. Let's just swing for the fences and go something real dumb and stupid and go Channing Tatum.
Okay, Channing Tatum. All right. Candy Cane Kisses stars, according to ChatGPT, Lily Collins, Henry Golding, as the wise elderly baker, Helen Mirren.
Oh, okay.
Cool. That's not a bad take on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My first thought for elderly baker, I was going to go with either Hugh Grant or Pierce Brosnan, but I could not see them being a wise elderly baker.
I see both of you strictly only think of elderly wise bakers as men, though.
Well, we don't want to say only women belong there.
Yeah, I'm trying to be inclusive here, Ant.
I don't know. It sounds more like that you guys felt that was a position of authority, and you guys skewed male.
No. I feel like women can do what they want. They don't need to be in the kitchen being the wise elderly bakers.
Didn't I have?
You heard wise, and you're like, well, man, obviously.
Well,
I mean, when you first said wise before you said baker, I was like, wise. That has to be Mr. T.
Well, everyone knows women can't be wise because they're emotions, Ant. They can't bake.
This is true. Okay, last one. This one is called The Gift of Love. And the synopsis is: two strangers cross paths during the hectic Christmas season and, through a series of heartwarming events, discover the true meaning of the holiday. As they exchange thoughtful gifts and share festive traditions, a special bond develops that transcends the hustle and bustle of the season. You know what? This one kind of sucks. I'm going to go to the next one.
Okay.
This is just very, very generic. I didn't really think that anything came through on that one. Okay. Here's called Twinkling Tidings of Love. Synopsis: a disillusioned photographer reluctantly agrees to capture the holiday spirit for a Christmas magazine spread. Along the way, she encounters a spirited Christmas decorator who opens her eyes to the magic of the season and the possibility of finding love in the most unexpected places. That one's much better.
Okay.
All right, Dan.
All right, so what are the... There's only the...
Yes, of course. It is Twinkling Tidings of Love, female lead, male lead, supporting role, wise elderly decorator.
All right. So I'm gonna be topical because this pairing just came out, I think, today on an Actors on Actors. So for the female lead, I'll take Margot Robbie.
Okay.
For the male lead, give me Cillian Murphy.
Okay.
And for the wise, was it the wise old photographer?
Decorator?
Decorator. For the wise old decorator. Now you're in my head. You really, because now I don't want to do it just because you said that, but I had someone in mind, but I like this other person. So, all right, for just for clarity's sake and all that, I was gonna go Meryl Streep, but
okay.
I'm
going Christ, Dan.
But I'm changing it. Okay. I'm going Jack Black. Even though he's not old, but I just think he'd be hilarious as a decorator.
Okay. I find it interesting that you picked Cillian Murphy for a spirited Christmas decorator.
Well, we've seen what he could do as a communist. Let's see him on, a little lighter side of Cillian Murphy. Why not? He can do both.
All right, Mark, what do you got?
So the wise decorator, I will go with Meryl Streep.
Okay.
Female lead instantly popped into my head was Anna Kendrick, and
Okay.
for spirited decorator, you said? Or
Yes.
Spirited decorator. Let's just go a little off the wall. Let's go Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin. I like that.
Yeah, keeping the Christmas roots.
Mm-hmm. All right. So ChatGPT's version of what was this? Twinkling Tidings of Love. Yeah. Female lead Natalie Portman alongside Michael B. Jordan, and a supporting role the wise elderly decorator Morgan Freeman.
Oh, okay. I like that.
I'm just imagining Michael B. Jordan as spirited holiday director.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, that's a tough one for me to get into.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, not that he can't do it. It just it doesn't seem like he would be up for that.
Mm-hmm. Some other casts for The Gift of Love would have starred Keira Knightley and Matthew McConaughey with John Goodman as Santa Claus impersonator.
Okay.
Oh, that's a perfect casting.
Snowfall Serenade starring Anne Hathaway, Hugh Jackman, and choir director's best friend Zachary Levi.
Ooh, I like that.
Merry and Bright Romance, Reese Witherspoon, Chris Pratt, and company CEO played by Charlize Theron.
Real quick, did you say Zachary Levi?
Yeah.
I thought you meant Eugene Levy.
Oh no, that'd be much better.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. I agree with Mark.
Jingle Bell Romance starring Zendaya, Tom Holland, and Christmas market vendor Aquafina.
Ooh. I
and,
know.
And Yuletide Yearnings, Jennifer Lawrence, Bradley Cooper, and Cabin Neighbor Jake Gyllenhaal, probably directed by David O. Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So that's our ChatGPT Christmas movies.
Yeah, it seems that just from the last couple ones, it seems like ChatGPT put people that have been in things together before, for the most part. At least for those last few.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's obviously this connection between Zendaya and Tom Holland, obviously.
And Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah. They've been in like 4 movies together or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It just shows that you can basically you can create a Hallmark Christmas movie with AI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like not that the job's not. I think the most difficult part of making these movies is making them kind of interesting.
Sure.
More than actually creating the story.
Well, it's really just you churn these out,
Mm-hmm.
It's a quick profit for everyone involved. You're not really looking for much substance.
Yeah. All right. So that's our episode. That was Christmas Cupid. And at least it was better than Karate Christmas Miracle, which I can't promise the next week is going to be better than Karate Christmas Miracle. But we'll see. Check us out on all our socials, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, at TickTamPod. We're on TikTok at They Called Us a Movie. Hit us up on Gmail, ticktampod@gmail.com. Throw some suggestions our way there. Or you can hit us up on any of the places I just previously mentioned. We got any questions, comments? Throw those in the email. Also check out our YouTube, They Called Us Movie. Just search for They Called Us Movie. That should probably come up. Yeah, that's about it. The director of Christmas Cupid was Gil Younger. So for Dan Aquino and Mark Myers is the Andy Devecchio telling Gil Younger, well, you certainly made a movie, didn't you? Thanks for listening to They Called Us a Movie. Subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts, and be sure to check us out on Twitter and Instagram at TickTamPod. That's TCTAM Pod. You can also check us out on TikTok at They Called Us a Movie.